And we're back.
Back again.
I'll just put mine on.
Yo, I don't even know what that is.
It's trippy.
Trippy Red?
Yeah.
I barely know who that is.
Bro, it's trippy. What do you mean?
I barely know who that is.
He's that guy that goes, like, well, that sounded Arab, if anything. But he's, he has that kind of like whiny, like sort of, yeah,
Nope.
Yeah, it's like very noticeable when he does it, his voice.
All right.
So this is the podcast ever. What's up, guys? We're back. It's been a week. Can you believe it, guys?
Just a week.
How you guys doing? How you feeling? Have you missed us? We missed you.
I did. I feel a strong hold on. Not make it gay. A strong brotherhood with the viewers.
I feel a sensual connection.
Well, you made it gay now.
I said sensual, man.
I mean, I pretty much only hear that term used in that context.
You remember College Humor? And it was like sensual assault. They had a skit like that.
No, actually.
It was just like making people feel like really like intimate, but not like sexually, like in The Office.
Like how?
I can't remember the exact examples. I think it might have just been like lighting candles and like, trying to give people like massages, like, but like not like crazy, like, like sexual ones, but just like friendly stuff, but it was just seen as like sort of overbearing because of the fact that it's like too intimate. Something like that. Like it wasn't any, like the joke is that it's not anything that's actually like harassment to the level of like this is assault on somebody or like you are trying to get something out of them as far as your next off, I would say, but it's more of the fact that it's like, yeah, you're just being creepy.
They used to be pretty good too.
I remember, Chubbed was like a really funny one if you saw that.
That sounds really familiar.
It was like a medication that would make you have like half hard on, like so that in the like gym shower you wouldn't be embarrassed.
Yo,
like at all times you'd just like be halfway, like what is it called? Like mid staff. What is it? Half mast.
You
know what I'm talking about?
Was that one of the newer ones or like
no? That's old. That's like I watched that in like middle school.
Oh shit! Yeah, I didn't go that far. I usually stayed at like relatively current at the time, which was like 2015, 16, maybe 14.
It may have been early high school, so it may have been around there, but it was before 2016 for sure.
Yeah, it seems like that's the date, like where everything just shifts.
2016.
Yeah,
bro, because of the XXL Cypher freshman list. Come on, like the freshman Cypher, bro, with like XXX and 21 Savage and Ugly God and Uzi. That's what everybody talks about from that year. They're like, yeah, it was you don't know about the XXL freshman Cypher?
No.
So, okay, I guess I have to explain it for you and maybe the viewers. The XXL freshman Cypher is like this, like XXL is like a rap magazine. And so then they have this thing, like they're like kind of this rap media outlet. They have like a freshman list every year of like the new rappers, because rappers are in like their freshman part of their career. They're not like, they haven't dropped like a sophomore album, or even like they're at the point where they've only dropped like one album, right? They haven't dropped like 2, 3. They're not farther into their career. So they're like new emerging people that are somebody to look at, rappers that people they're talking about, they're popping off. They got these hits, so like 21 Savage, Ugly God, XXX, like people like that. They or Ski Mask the Slump God, like I think was there as well. I can't even remember the full list of people. I can't even remember all of them. But anyway, there's like a set of them that they had as like the freshmen, and then they would all come together and do like a freestyle. So they'd put like a beat on, and then they'd all like rap over it, and so like together, So the XXL 2016 like freshman cypher was like very notable because it was around the time when like rap like was at like sort of like the trap rap stuff, like and mumble rap and all that was kind of like at a real high. Like it was like everybody was listening to it. It's like all the white people too, not just the others, right? And so it was sort of like it's just so culturally relevant and popular that everybody like remembers it from that time. And then it sort of seemed like rap, if anything, if you were a rap fan at that point, like it started to fall off a little bit toward like 2017, 2018, just in quality. So if anything, like it became a lot more saturated, commercialized. This was like the point at which it was like at that intersection where it's like commercialized but still cool. So it was like, it was like the best point to be listening to this stuff or be paying attention. And so like people have like nostalgia for that moment where they're like, man, I remember I was there watching that and I felt so good doing that. Like, everybody was talking about it. I felt like so happy.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna rip the band-aid off. I very clearly don't listen to any kind of urban music. So I was completely in the dark about this.
I
Pun
mean,
not intended.
did you not listen to urban music at any point?
I did for like a year, and I think it was definitely after that, like 2019, 2018. Well, I
Bands that
mean,
make good dance. Bands that make good dance.
I know that track, but I never actually looked for it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I remember I said like bands that make her dance or something, and then you like looked at me or something. How did that go? We were just in this room like talking to somebody, and it came up in conversation, and we gave each other this look, and I was like, "What the hell?" It was weird that you looked at me like that.
I don't remember that at all.
Dude, I can't remember if it was me saying it and then that's when you gave me a look, or if like for some reason you mentioned it and then I was like shocked that you knew it. It was like one or the other, and I'm like, what the hell?
I think it might have been the latter.
I was like, how the hell does he know about this?
Where was this? Do you remember this?
This was in on a campus site in an upstairs portion of a building that you liked and I liked to be in for its stairwell.
Oh yeah. Wait, I think I do remember that now.
This was on the top floor.
Was that one day where we were like running, well, not running, but like basically going on like a wild goose chase around the entire campus?
Yeah.
With the
We
other
were like
two
sprinting down the
people.
stairs that day. We were with that other guy who was like laughing about it too.
Well, I mean, I was. Can you sprint downstairs?
I don't know, man. You were gliding.
I was gliding. That's an accurate term. I probably annihilated my joints during that time. But that all evens out because I was drinking a lot of milk.
Yeah.
I was also
All
still
you
eating
need to take
vegetables
now is
though.
like gelatin,
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that. Does because I remember you were saying that not gelatin. No, I think that is gelatin actually. Yeah. Isn't gelatin like synonymous with cartilage? Or not cartilage.
Collagen.
That's the one.
It's not exactly like collagen though. It's like, well, I mean, like, yeah, it kind of is like it, right?
It does like
But
the same thing is what I'm thinking.
it's pretty close. Let me look up the exact definition of both just so I can say it. I forgot what the exact differentiation was, but let's see. Yeah, gelatin is a form of hydrolyzed collagen, which means it's essentially part of a collagen that has been broken down.
So wouldn't just pure collagen be better then?
Not necessarily because well, I'm not exactly sure if there's a difference with collagen. I just know gelatin itself, like the actual protein, is good, and it offsets the methionine that you would get when you eat a lot of muscle meat. So basically, it offsets the like amino acid profile of a high muscle meat diet, and so like it would help like preventing a rise in cortisol.
See, this is why I brought this up because I was remembering the same video you brought up, and I could have sworn he said collagen, not gelatin.
I don't know. Ray Pete has suggested to like consume gelatin, like as far as what he like has taken in the form of like like eating
like
it.
Jello?
No, well, no, you can get like a gelatin powder that's like pure like bovine gelatin.
Does it work if I eat marshmallows?
You can turn them into marshmallows and eat them like that.
So it wouldn't work if
But
I just got a pack of marshmallows.
It's better to just make the gelatin into marshmallows yourself. Because I mean, even then, like you would probably want because they're not using the beef ones for the marshmallows.
They're not.
Right.
But I can't imagine it's high in fat.
It's just better to like be eating the gelatin, like like actually making it yourself, first of all, because like, you know, you don't know what's in the marshmallows. Like there could be, well, you could look at the ingredients list, I guess, but if it's not very halal, you know, you want to make sure you get a nice
I
profile of
think
ingredients.
by definition, marshmallows are not halal.
That is true when they're made from pig gelatin. Yeah.
I figured I was eating enough eggs where it would kind of counteract it, but gelatin it is, I guess.
Eggs, like what do you mean? Like what part of it would you say is counteracting it?
I don't remember. I just remember him saying eggs have a lot of collagen in them. Eggs and like
Oh,
skin.
I see.
Yeah.
I am not too aware of that, but anyway, point being, you know, what is today's topic? You know, we have, I believe we do have a set topic according to yourself, and you know, we don't always come in with one, but we have a good conversation anyway. But it seemed like it was anime as one of them, right?
Yeah, we'll start with that one because I feel like that'll easily transition in. Transition into the other one pretty easily.
Can I ask why anime? What inspired this?
We have not talked about it in depth yet. That's kind of it.
Okay. Well, I mean, you know, it produces some strange folk, you know.
And that's exactly what I'm getting at here. Now, I will confess, there was a time in the distant past where I was once a consumer of what I like to call the Jap tunes. By the way, Jap, is that a slur? Because I keep getting conflicting answers on that.
I believe it is, though. You know, I don't think it's the most offensive one. You know,
I used to say it like casually, and nobody really said anything, and nobody said anything until I asked them, and they're like, "Well, maybe."
Right. See, if you didn't ask me, I probably wouldn't have said anything or even thought anything. Really, I probably wouldn't have. I would have like not even thought anything of it. You know, but then again, there are worse words that I don't think anything of.
That's also true. Either way, I refer to them as that. If it is a slur, I don't know. I don't think it's really going to change anything.
Offensive. Have you heard that song?
No.
It's a parody of Billy Joel's. You know, what was it? Yeah, We Didn't Start the Fire. It's called like the most offensive song. Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
I don't.
Yeah, it's just filled with slurs. I'm serious. Like this, I would not play this song on this episode, but I just want to find maybe just the chorus for you, like here, just so that we don't have any sort of I don't know if I can find it. Let me see the most offensive song. Do you think Genius has the lyrics here?
I mean, I don't know. I usually consider anything that's like mainstream in any sort of fashion to be frowning upon such things.
But there's South Park.
Yeah, but the ESG scores.
Let's see, the most offensive song. Maybe it's called that. Maybe it's called a variant of that. No. Oh, it's most racist song ever. I'm sorry.
Common misconception.
Yeah, there are songs called the most offensive song ever, but this is by Rocket Radio. Let's see. Most racist song ever, Rocket Radio. Yeah, it's easy to like mix those up. I'm sure. Oh yeah. Okay, here we go. No, there's a bunch of websites that have the link to the actual song. It's like you want the lyrics, you know. I don't know.
Oh, is it not on YouTube?
No, it's on YouTube.
Is it?
Oh, I think I found it. I think I found it. Lyrics. Yeah. I don't mean to be offensive. I'm just pissed these words exist. Please don't get defensive. Something like that.
So the premise of the song is that he's listing all the slurs that he doesn't like.
Yeah. I really want to go into it, but we can't. Every word that's not in the chorus is just a slur. there's no other lyrics. That's it.
Not even like supporting verbs or anything like that.
Well, I can't even read that, you know, but there are slurs that I guess include verbiage as far as like how they act. You know, let's move on. So anime. Anime, you say. You know, I'm just saying, look, at one point I have watched some animes, not many. I mean, obviously, you know, like the ones people watch as kids that aren't really anime, but they are like Pokemon, Dragon Ball, whatever, you know, here and there.
Oh yeah, that shit.
But in my early teens, in my adolescence, in my pubescence, I watched Attack on Titan season 1 because everybody was watching it, everybody's talking about it, everybody's like, oh my god, Attack on Titan, and look at, and I watched it. It was kind of boring though. Like the episodes were so long and it's like nothing happens. They're just like dragged out.
So in like high school, I was talking with these friends of mine. They were female friends, so I mean that's already
Whoa.
But anyway, they were into anime, and they were like, yeah, bro, you should watch this, that, and the other. I was like, yeah, you know what? Beyond my own reservations, I'll give it a shot. And I got into it to an extent, but then like they recommended Attack on Titan, and I watched the entire first season in one night. And
oh no,
oh hell no,
hell no, hell no.
I almost felt, or no, I think I did fall asleep. That shit was boring as fuck.
Yeah. I mean, man, I was watching those episodes and I had to like, I was watching them during car rides. I couldn't really get to myself to watch them like once I got home.
It's one of those things where it becomes a chore to do.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I guess I was like okay with the cliff hang. I don't know if it was a cliffhanger or what. I guess I was okay with like whatever they left it on, like whatever they were leaving to the story to finish. But it's just the fact that it takes so long to finish it that kind of annoyed me, But I don't know, it's not even really a strong, annoying feeling. It's just kind of like dull, It's just I don't really feel much about it. I'm very apathetic to it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt. I didn't think it.
I don't even have much hate toward it, Like it's just kind of like it's just there, and I don't really care for it.
Yeah, that's how it started for me, and then it became hate when I was basically goaded into watching it because it was so popular.
Goaded?
Am I using that term incorrectly?
No, it's just I usually hear goaded like, yo, that's goaded. Like it's like epic. Oh. Like that's the best thing,
It is in fact not goaded at all. It's like moded, if anything.
Yeah. I really don't watch many animes aside from that. I can't really name anything I watched One Punch Man, like the first season of that. That was more entertaining than Attack on Titan.
It was. I saw that too. That's another one that was actually super hyped up, but it didn't actually suck.
I don't know how it's been since then. I have not seen it.
Yeah, I have not. There is a point in time where I realized wait, hold on. I hate this art form. And I just stopped. Like, irrespective of any cliffhangers or whatever, or unresolved stories. But yeah, there was a time where that wasn't the case. And even then I felt there's something off about this. I don't know what, but there's something off about this. Like, if somebody walks around the hallway saying, I love this show, and it happens to be a show like that, and someone would like go up to them and bully them for whatever reason, I wouldn't see a problem with it.
Okay. But no, hold on. Here's a question I have. So these were women friends that were watching this show, Attack on Titan. What kind of women were these?
What exactly are you asking?
I'm just like the stereotypes of people that go to high school. What group would they fall into?
They weren't gay. Okay,
that's great. No, I had some like friends that were girls from middle school. I didn't really hang out with many in high school, but I had some from middle school that they turned, a lot of them turned lesbian. Like, first of all, I don't know, this isn't really a tangent, but like, can I just say, like, there was this girl who, like, first of all, she was the first one to like come out as like, I don't know if she first said I am bisexual and then said lesbian. I think that's how it went. And then a lot of other chicks after were like, I'm bisexual too. I'm bisexual. And then after, well, I guess
hive mind.
Yeah, I think, well, see, the thing is, there was also this guy, except for this guy had a really high pitched voice. And it's like, I already was suspicious of this one. I was like, dude, like, how is he not coming out or anything is like gay, And so
you're like disappointed.
Right. Well, it was more of a feeling of like, well, if this guy's not gay, then what makes sense in the world, Like, how are we living in reality here? But she had like a birthday party, the first one, the patient zero, right? And So apparently, like, around that time, like the guy, before he came out as gay and before she came out as just fully lesbian, they started dating. They just started dating. And so, like, well, I guess we don't want to get into the dynamics too much of how people, how gayness works. Maybe we
I mean,
don't
it
want to
is
talk about that.
related.
I mean, we could.
We got to set down the groundwork first, though.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Well, let me just say, they started dating, and then apparently after the fact, she becomes full lesbian, he becomes full gay. Well, he says he's like bisexual, but he's like, oh, but mostly I like guys. Like, it's like an 80-20 kind of thing. Everything's an 80-20 rule in life, right?
I heard that actually recently, and I didn't even really bother thinking about that either. But if you're a bisexual guy, it seems to be that it's just an excuse to say that you're gay without saying you're gay.
It's an excuse to say you're gay. You mean like an excuse to hide the fact that you're just fully gay?
Pretty much.
And for women, it's more, they're not actually that gay, but they just want to impress guys.
I mean, your story kind of confirms it. Oh, you're bisexual? Me too. I kind of thought about this one time.
Most of the women just turned out, I don't know how they turned out, actually. They probably are just, bisexual still, maybe. Who knows? But there was this one who, she apparently, I didn't even know this happened, but she just became like transgender, like turned into a guy. I saw a Facebook recommendation for like somebody with the same last name but a different first name, and I'm like, well, how does that make sense? Who is this? Is this like a brother of the person I knew? And it's like, nope, this is a guy now.
Wow.
Yep.
I don't think I've ever had that happen to me. Oh, yeah, wait, I don't know. I kind of did.
It's not common, but yeah, I don't know. It's like, I mean, I don't know how much we've talked about this, but like just the girls from like middle school and high school, like a lot of them, for some reason, a lot of them, a big percentage of them just didn't turn out right. They just all turned out kind of like not normal.
I can think of like maybe 5 out of my entire high school that didn't become either, let's call them the town bicycle, or just went down the full gay route.
Or just became,
they usually went one or the other.
Became fat, pierced, tattooed, nicotine addicted.
Well, I mean, that's kind of implied in one of them.
Dyed hair. Alcohol addiction. Alcoholic, I should say.
Hey,
pregnant.
Shit.
Pregnant.
I should have had him like say it when he was on the show. But
John?
Our buddy John, he's got a saying: you can't be an alcoholic until after you graduate college.
Wow. That's pretty accurate.
Right?
But then again, there are people that like I read these comment sections about like people that used to sneak alcohol or like drink on like, when their parents were asleep or something. And they're like, yeah, I became sober by 20.
What?
They quit alcohol by 20 because they were drinking in their teens.
So if I was one of those guys that was drinking alcohol in like middle school and high school, I would never touch a drop of alcohol now, is what you're saying.
Yes, but you would have messed up your hormones during puberty.
That's true.
Which probably is worse than, getting it out of the way afterward.
Yeah, it's kind of an uphill battle once you're past high school. Can't really fix that.
Oh, you mean like you have developed wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you could try and fix it, but yeah, it's difficult. Actually, I posted this thing, and this has to do with the Ray Pete stuff I was talking about earlier. And I know we're kind of getting off the anime topic, but let me just
you totally
interject. I guess interject with this one last thing, and we can move back to it. But this is, well, I don't know if we want to talk more about the gay stuff, but we could just honestly, we could kind of leave it be for now after this, but there was this like male to female sort of like, it's like a guy and then he goes on estrogen and like hormone blockers since like he said since like puberty or something, like puberty blockers. And he was talking about how like it's messed up his thyroid and like he's having a lot of hormonal issues, like it's the estrogens cause problems for him. Ray Pete vindicated, right? But
I remember this.
Basically, yeah, he was just saying like, what can I do to balance my hormones now? Because it's like, this has fucked me up, it's like, this is not good for me. So it's like, it's just kind of like, even though the science, as we've said, previously, has declared it to be fine and good to, mess with the hormones of your body in any way. Let's say if you don't have some sort of abnormality previously, it doesn't seem like it's working for everybody. Is all I can really say for now.
But the science isn't wrong.
Well, the science is the science. Come on now. You know, if it's the science, how could it be not the science? That doesn't make sense.
Right? You can't have an A is an A.
Exactly.
Except when you need it to be like that.
Right. Well, I mean, if you really need, B equals A, you can just say the science makes it be the case,
All hail the science.
All hail the science. Anyway, so anime.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. You kind of just jumped ahead of where I was taking it anyway. So
Oh, so like you were gonna lead into that anyway.
Yeah. Anime makes you gay.
Makes you gay, right?
Pretty much. Like think about it. Besides black people.
Right.
And like I mean, it's kind of hard to say now because it's kind of bled its way so deeply into Western culture now. But before then, besides black people and Mexicans,
I knew you had to say Mexicans, man.
We all know it. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. Mexico is the capital of Dragon Ball.
Mm-hmm. But besides them,
and besides really that one show or shows like that, where it's kind of Americanized to an extent because of just how prolific it is in the culture, every person that says, yeah, I like watching anime, you can imagine exactly how they look like, or you see them and you're like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's either, if you're a guy, you are very thin, probably a lot of, well, maybe not necessarily, very thin, not the most masculine guy. Like you're not. You essentially you look like the stereotypical nerd in like an 80s movie, like that, but more effeminate.
Okay.
And then if you're a woman, typically, and I mean, to be fair, the people that I knew are an exception to the rule. I don't know how that happened at all. Well, yeah, I do. Never mind. Anyway, but point is they're not included in this. You're usually gay. That one's gonna, yeah.
Well,
that's kind of how it works. No, the ones I was surrounded by. Okay, no, there were a few fat ones actually, but most of them were like, unhealthily skinny.
Mm.
Like, very clearly missed the bus on the hormone thing.
So what happened? What made these people like anime? Why is it that these people are the ones like anime?
All right, here we go. I think it's the Japanese culture itself, to be honest, because that's really, when I think about it, that's really the root of why, to a normal person, these kind of things seem so obviously wrong. Like when I was in middle school or like high school or anything like that, and I was looking from an outside view, I always had to think, well, yeah, I watch this, but I mean, I'm not like them, right? Right? But then I started thinking, why is it that it gives that kind of feeling of unease? And if you like analyze it, like the shows and all that, it really goes back to just Japanese cultural tropes, I guess, that end up in the show or like whatever book.
Do you have
that
like
kind
an
of
example
thing.
of this?
Yes.
Okay. And
hold on, I was sustaining an inhale.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say it's like a moment of like anticipation or something that we got here leading up
Well,
to
it acted as both. So
okay, suspense.
Yeah. If you look at the Japanese culture, it's very, first of all, collectivist. So that's already kind of a bad start. Yeah, probably just like piss off a few people. But anyway, and because of that, and because of especially how culturally homogenous it is, the Japanese have a tendency to act very polite to almost like an autistic level, if I'm being honest.
Mm-hmm.
And this would have actually been a great topic to bring up with Papa, but
like you start bowing when you want to apologize.
Yeah, like think about that. Think about, like, I don't know, you bumped into somebody by accident and you, instead of saying, "Oh, sorry," and you move on or whatever, or you don't say anything like what I do, You just stop, you drop everything and start bowing and starts like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Like it's like a king or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's very I mean, it's not very masculine, I'm just saying. But
Bowing to another
that
man.
yeah, it's gay.
I
Despite
mean, it
what
is.
it is, yeah. But yeah, there's that. There's like the fact that it kind of now it's hard to say whether or not the no, I think it has to be like a cultural thing, and then the anime just kind of gets added onto it. Like the whole thing where like Japanese like young adults men are basically well also literally killing themselves, but also like just
Hmm.
literally just taking a step back from their own lives and not doing anything but sitting at home and doing nothing. That kind of shit.
I is this a popular trope in anime? I haven't even seen enough anime
No,
to
no,
know
like
this.
no, I'm not even talking about anime. I'm talking about like Japan. That's like a thing.
Oh, so like they're indoors enough to be watching the anime, or what are you saying here?
No, no,
Or
the anime
it's
is
just
like not
bred.
there yet.
It's just
Like
bred this type of guy that watches it. I don't,
no, I'm talking about the culture now. It's not necessarily an anime thing at this point. But there's like a trend where like young adult men in Japan, they don't try to find a girl. They don't try to like get a meaningful job or like, excel in any way. They just sit at home watching anime most of the time, collecting toys, like your typical nerd, but taken to like its most extreme form. But it's real.
So how does the anime do this?
Oh no, I think it's the anime. It's like inherently Japanese in its culture, and then kind of adapts these kinds of things
Hmm.
into the storyline,
Oh, I
and
see.
that's like, yeah, and you can see it
So
if
the
you know what,
culture is
like,
that, those guys staying at home. It influences it in the anime. Then the anime influences the people watching it in the West. And then the people in the West start to act more like the Japanese men that stay indoors and collect minifigures and stuff.
yeah,
I
and you can
see.
see it too. I know a lot of people that do this.
It's like a virus.
Yes, and this
It's
is
like
why I hate
infecting
it.
one thing and then the other and then the other.
I mean, to be fair, every now and then, I mean, I'd be lying if I said there weren't any good storylines that they make using this particular art form, but they're usually good because they're not within a Japanese context, if that
Like
makes
they're
sense.
pretending the people are from like America.
No, not like that. Not like that, like blatant, but like the trends and like stories, like values aren't. They don't really line up with like a. They line up more with a Western audience than they would like a Eastern audience, if that makes sense.
But the location they're from doesn't actually matter in that.
Not necessarily, no.
Okay.
Because like, here's the thing: even if you're writing like a technically Pokemon, I don't think takes place in Japan, but it still feels like it in a
Hmm.
way.
Well, they have their own world, but it's supposed to
Yeah,
kind of be like it. I mean, it
right.
depends on which, what are they called? Like map, or I forgot what the term was. Region, I think it was.
I'm going to
It
the
depends.
Johto region.
Yeah, it depends on the region because there like are some that like imitate like New York, for example.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's like Pokemon Black and White like takes place in a city that's supposed to be like New York.
So yeah, I'm not invested enough in that to even know what that is.
Well,
But
I played Black and White in like elementary and middle school because like that's when it came out. So it was like
I only
20, I don't know, probably 2012 or something. 2013
I
maybe.
only
I don't
got
know.
to play Emerald on an emulator in high school, and then they blocked it on the school iPads before I could finish it.
Bruh.
So that was it. Um, they were onto that quick too. It was only like a few days, like 3 days or something like that. But anyway, uh, yeah, like the thing is, it's not inherently a Japanese, or well, no, yeah, it is, but like every now and then you're gonna have like exceptions to the rule. Like for example, you might be a German, and Germans have their way of writing things and like German humor, all that kind of shit. But if you're writing a story that's taking place in like I don't know Senegal or something, you still will like have those German traits in there because that's how you know how to write. But every now and then
Mm.
you'll have somebody that might have like an influence from like, oh, I don't know, maybe he went to an American school, or maybe he's just exposed to American media or whatever, and then he has a way of writing in an American style. And even though he's writing a story that takes place in Germany, he might write it in a way that more Americans can relate to. So it does kind of depend on what like story or whatever it is and who's writing it. But I mean, within the cultural context, the majority seem to follow that kind of trend.
So why do you think it is like the sort of like e-girls like anime?
Oh, that goes into another topic that I was talking about with another buddy. E-girls. Now hold on. When you say e-girls, what do you mean exactly? Do you mean
Well, I
e-thoughts
mean,
or
wouldn't
like
Pokimane fall under e-girl?
so just any girl that's on the internet?
I mean, like, okay, not any girl that's on the internet, but yes, chronically online, streamer, a lot of the time, Twitch streamer, or like wants to imitate the kind of Twitch streamer girl. They usually have a certain aesthetic, though not always, because like Pokimane, for example, doesn't look kind of like that. Like, because there's like a sort of goth, you know, almost, or like alternative. Like there's, I don't know what it would be actually called if it's that or something, but like they have that sort of like dark look to them, but they're like, it's, you start it with like girl, boy look, you know what I mean? I know I'm putting e-girl within the definition
Chronically
of e-girl
feminine.
kind of by saying they have this certain look, but like the look is not e-girl by definition. It's probably closer to like, you know, some emo lifted kind of thing.
When I think e-girl, I think like anime aesthetic or like approaching that.
Somewhat, you know, like they'll have
Like
that
the
as
cat
like
ear
something they're
headphones.
fanatic over, you know, like they'll have it kind of like, you know, they like the aesthetic, like they'll have like maybe they also collect like they more so maybe plushies and like minifigures and stuff, and you know they like the cutesy look of it.
Yeah, my theory on why that's a thing is because they're streamers and they need an audience and they know exactly what to hit to get people to hand over money.
Mm. So it's, you think it's just developed exclusively, almost exclusively, if anything, as a, like a genre of appearance for like the male gaze, as you would put it, like, or not as you would put it necessarily, but as it would be put, like it's for the male audience specifically.
Pretty much. I mean, I wouldn't say it necessarily has to be anything like sexual. I mean, it pretty much always is because I've seen this and I heard these people talking about this, and these are like fandoms I'm not even a part of, like Warhammer, D&D, and stuff like that. You see, it used to be like a very like only guys are into this. Maybe it's casual, maybe they're really into it, maybe they're nerds, maybe they're not. But it was only a guy thing, really. And now you're seeing, oh well, e-girls are into it, and it's because it's profitable if you pander to a niche audience,
Mm-hmm.
especially a niche audience that is known to not have very high confidence or self-esteem. Because let's be honest, these kinds of things are not typically, you know, very, I don't know, celebrated or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have like a decently attractive girl that's like either, even if she's not like on purpose trying to sexualize herself, that's still an underlying like uh theme of the people that would be watching it.
Mm. I see.
Like for example, I have this one guy that I know, um, and he's like really big in anime, and he's like actually pretty like we agree on a lot of things, like in terms of like I guess you could say philosophically, like he's someone I could talk to, but he's like really into anime, and it's a problem. And every time somebody asks him like, "Why do you like this?" and it's weird because he's specifically into like the stuff where it's like what he calls cute stuff. If you catch my drift.
No
Um,
way.
yeah. So we're like, why do you like this? And he's like, it's cute. And we're like, why do you like the fact that it's cute? And he's like, oh, well, it's just cute. That's it. It doesn't end there. I'm just going to give you like a spoiler, people. If somebody's into cute stuff and it's like little girls and shit like that, no, that's sus.
How
That's
does that
not where
mean
it
though? It's like
ends.
you like little girls and little boys. Something like
What?
that. Some like meme that goes like that.
I don't remember that.
It's like, I don't know if Goku was in the meme or something. I forgot how it goes.
I actually see. Here's the thing. I don't even like Dragon Ball. I've never even seen it. Well, I've seen some of it, but I haven't seen any of it to any like real extent. But I'm loving the Instagram memes with like Goku and shit.
Yeah. So anyway,
Wow,
it doesn't
you're a
end there, you
loser.
say.
No, it can't because like what you're interested in implies a philosophical underlying shit. I cannot think of the word for that. Underlying attraction to it in a way, not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily in a sexual sense, but like just, you know, basic attraction to anything, like getting attracted to like I'm attracted to eating steak, for example, that kind of shit. But and what that is, if it's something like that, you can kind of like it's not really hard to guess what it is. Now, I'm not saying he's, you know, predatory, but I am saying it's not normal and it's something you should probably try to fix if you're in that position.
Yeah.
Because
That is
it's
that's something.
fucking weird.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
that's the reason why like you see all these streamers talking about D&D, they're into anime, they're into and you'll see it in specifically the OnlyFans girls too. They'll start doing like cosplays and shit like that. And we were talking about this before with Papa John earlier, how you know, he was recommending you go to conventions to find girls, and we said there are two types of girls that go to conventions. Either they're autistic and gay, or they want an excuse to dress up like a slutty character from anime.
right.
Or
Which is why I
like
was complaining about it, because I'm like, dude, that's really not good.
No, it's really not. I mean, to be fair, you did say autistic Riz, and if you wanted it to work, that would be the best place for it to work.
I see. Well, you know, I think he got caught, like, again, he got way too caught up on the autistic side of the Riz. Like, you know, the autistic part is like, it doesn't necessarily have to be like full on, you know, just like spazzing out on the floor. Like, it's like you can sprinkle a little bit of like humor and kind of like, you know, edginess, like a little bit to the point where it's like, you know, it's to be sort of like a, like, you know, you don't have too much of a filter on yourself. You're kind of displaying a little bit of where you're at rather than trying to seem like a normie, you know, like you're trying to imply that you're just not like, you know, some like average, like, you know, just NPC.
I'm smarter than the average bear.
Yeah, exactly. So it's sort of like, you know, you're trying to be goofy a little bit, you know, but it's to the point where it's like you would see it on like I don't know if you would see it like on reels as like a legit like form of pickup, or as like the ones where they're making fun of it, like somewhere in that range.
Every time I hear the the word goofy,
Yup.
I start thinking of this meme I saw a while ago. Where I don't even remember what he was reacting to, but he was just goofy, and he was like, "Yep, that's what they get for supporting Israel."
Yeah. Well, that was 9/11. That was that he was saying that for.
That probably was, yeah.
It was. It was.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, like I mean, to be fair, I'll cover the bases here a bit, and I mean, it's not entirely covering the bases because it's true. You will find like I don't know a guy that's into it casually, and he brings like his girlfriend, and she's normal to like those kinds of places. But I mean, they're not the majority by any means.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, if you're like casually into that, and you're like, oh, this is cool, and you go there, that would be enough for me to be like, yeah, I can't watch this anymore. I think that did happen to me, like slowly, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's how I got over it.
Man,
people there are weird.
So, I mean, I guess, you know, you said it brought you into another topic, the type of people that was that just a story, or was there like another thing?
What do you mean?
Like, because you said the me questioning like the e-girl kind of thing, you were like, oh, that leads me into something else. Was that just sort of like the topic about like that one guy who was weird, or is it another topic?
No, it was kind of like, again, like added on to the anime thing. That's where I was going with it.
Oh, I see.
But yeah, to tie it all in a nice bow, or maybe continue, I don't know, it depends on how the conversation goes. You should stop watching anime because it's fucking weird and it'll make you weird.
Yeah, I mean, we could probably wrap it up on the anime thing because honestly, we just get it, man. Like, I haven't watched enough anime to be like, oh, this anime is like that, and this anime is like that, and like I think this about this anime, you know. And then at that point, we'd just be doing an anime podcast. It's like, well, we're kind of making fun of those people. So, you know,
yeah.
But drop your favorite anime. Drop your favorite anime in the comments, and we will react to what you said is your favorite anime, and we'll judge you based on it.
Correct.
There you go. So, you mentioned to me as well. You said a certain other
this
type
actually
of
is
woman.
The perfect transition. Pause. The e-thoughts that use the anime are but one species of e-thought. we are seeing the birth of a new thought, or perhaps the unveiling of a previously widely unknown e-thought,
The
which
emergence.
is correct, the trad thought.
Dun dun dun.
Which, I mean, to be fair, I mean, I guess it is technically better, but eh.
They want to, man, they want to cook and clean and stuff and stay at home, so it's good.
Yeah, while they're wearing the tightest shirt known to man.
Well, is that really a problem?
I mean, listen, I got a story about this because I heard about this while watching another podcast where there was like some controversy over some girl or whatever. She was like posted a video on Twitter and she was going for the whole trad woman thing. And she was baking a cake because, cook and clean, that kind of shit. And the issue was, and she was wearing a cross necklace too. The issue was the camera angle was focused squarely on her chest, like entirely. And it was an incredibly tight shirt. Like you couldn't see cleavage technically, but like, I mean, like it was there at the same time.
Was there an outline of the nip?
I don't know. I didn't watch the video. I heard about the video.
If it's not there, it's not the tightest shirt known to man, is it?
It was pretty tight.
Okay.
But yeah. Wow. And what happened was somebody like called us out. He's like, yeah, you're not really fooling anybody. We know what you're doing. And everybody's like, whoa, hold on. It's just because she's wearing this and doing that. She's got a cross necklace, man. It's just you and your perverted mind that's seeing this. And it's nobody else. And that's just one example of the one things I've seen. But I've also seen, apparently there's like a trend where like OnlyFans girls, they'll convert to Christianity. And then they'll say, yeah, I love Jesus and God and all that. But at the same time, God will forgive me or is okay with me, selling pictures of my asshole for $5.99 on the internet.
Yeah, no, I have seen that too, actually. And, I'm suspicious every time I see one of these like trad influencer women because I'm like, does she have an OnlyFans? Did she have an OnlyFans? Are there naked pictures of her online? And so I'm kind of wondering here, like, it just seems like another grift to me that they're trying to do. And they just see that it's getting a little more popular to be, like a woman that respects, like, the institution of marriage and her man and the family and so on and so forth as most people would understand it. And so, it just seems like another way to make money off that. And, I know there are like on the like, other people that are definitely trying to make money in other ways, like you'll have like some of the kind of people are like, what type of male are you? It's like you like is it better than alpha? Like, have you seen those where it's like, what's a sigma male? Is it better than alpha? Like there's like literal videos like that.
I'm a yogurt male.
Exactly. Is it better than alpha? Right. So
yep, it's got dairy.
Exactly. So, I'm wondering, like, is this just a part of that like same sphere of people? And, I think the determining thing to whether it's actually a grift is like, I mean, first of all, how much they're putting this out, what levels they're willing to climb up to for this, like how much they want to be showing themselves talking and like, just be focused on themselves, if anything, like for the camera and like for attention on their, on their own account. And I would say like the bigger appearances they're doing on like a lot of these shows and like whatever would probably clue you into whether or not they're just looking for clout.
Yeah. We live, and I think I have to say this, it's probably the emergence of what the so-called red pill people that have made this a thing to begin with. Because what you have is you have these panel shows, so the podcasting is blowing up, otherwise we wouldn't be making this. But anyway, just being honest here. With the podcast explosion that happened in like the past 5 years or so, you start getting people that start wanting to talk. You have a thing for every little niche in the world. Podcast. It's almost like streaming minus the headaches of and like a stigma of being a streamer, because it's kind of the same thing. You're just sitting around and chatting and all that. But with the quote unquote red pill people, they use these shows as supposedly like almost like a museum of how like women act, and the whole red pill thing is about. How would you like summarize it? It's like what, men's health, technically, men's sex health.
I wouldn't say men's sex health. I would say because it's sort of like the what men look for to become a renaissance man of the present, right? And so it's like, they're looking at finances, they're looking at, yes, there is like health and nutrition and fitness and all that, so that you get your body right, your money right,
your buddy right.
Yeah.
Forget about you. Get your buddy right.
You actually want, also networking is one thing. So yeah, you want to have your buddies right, the people around you. So yeah, fitness, networking, health, like status, just money, like have everything on point, so that you have sort of like this dominance within the market of sexual dating, like so that you are like, essentially they want you to see yourself as the alpha, the male in the room that's like, yeah, everybody's paying attention to this guy, like he has a lot of movement going on, you know what I mean? There's a lot of motion, as the new folk would put it, as the urban and Instagram commenters would put it, you got some motion going for you. And
I've never heard that.
Well, usually it refers to like money, but if anything, I think status could fill in that. But yeah, it's basically like teaching you how to get to the point where you could be somebody that commands resources. That is what a high value male is. So somebody that can command resources, and basically from that point have the agency when it comes to like what he wants from life to be able to get it. And so basically they try and sell this idea to everybody that watches their show, saying like, you can become that man.
Yeah, for the most part. And like the underlying, maybe not the underlying cause or like presupposition of it, but like the one it's most known for is, how to deal with modern day women. So what they'll do is they'll have these podcasts where they'll have panels of like any number from like 5 to like 10 women on a show at once, and basically it'll be like a debate over like sex dynamics between the hosts and the women. And what this does is it creates the perfect like jumping off ramp for any women in like any kind of like e-girls, basically any woman that's like in any kind of way where they're making a profit off of internet exposure can get on these shows, say pretty much anything, because I mean, if they're hot enough, it doesn't really matter if people agree with what they're saying or not.
Mm-hmm.
They get the exposure and people start flooding to their whatever it is, OnlyFans, Instagram, YouTube, doesn't really matter. Anything like that, even just like basic stuff like I don't know, Twitter or something like that. You get a ton of followers, which just keeps boosting your money. And I mean, their ego as well. That's part of it. So when you create this, not only does it create an incentive for people like, or women like that, to keep going for it, but also it creates an incentive for people that weren't, previously in it, to say, oh, well, she made this amount of money doing this. I mean, that's easy as fuck. I'd rather do that than a 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then you create like it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy, because those podcasts are constantly preaching more or less that, this isn't the ideal woman, or this is a woman you should be, at least a little suspicious of in regards to like a committed relationship or anything like that. But then it creates that at the same time. Now, where it gets to the trad thoughts, though, is because they're preaching what is essentially like old school, not explicitly stated, but like implicit traditional sex values in regards to the genders and all that. I guess yeah, you know what I mean. But what it creates is a market for people looking for, oh, I need a woman that's going to cook, clean, and shut up, and all this, that, and the other. But what is the best way to maximize profit and exposure? Especially when you have most of the country or most of the West that still kind of like is subscribed to like the right left dichotomy thing, is you implement it a bit with religion, keep the e-thought part, but hide it just enough where you can like convince either useful idiots or people that are, how do I say, compromising their own values enough where they're like, well, she's hot, she's a Christian, well, that's great. You get like a perfect storm of ego and revenue coming from a bunch of like men that are looking for that kind of thing. So
yeah, and I mean, it's showing something that's like it's rarer now, like it's less common. you're basically satisfying the need as much as you can with an online platform that sort of like men perceive for wanting that kind of woman, where it's like, you're basically taking yourself and putting yourself out as the product. The men who don't have that sort of woman in their life are looking for that. They can't really find it in real life because of the situation in the West, where it's like, yeah, there's a lot of women who are like the OnlyFans, or not even just that. I mean, it just, a lot of other aspects, we could talk about really, but like, and I guess to just say a few, like if we were talking about earlier, like how all these women from middle school and high school just turn out to be these like fat girls, like gay, like, dyed hair, nicotine addicted, as I was saying, I could give off the list again, but like they just sort of like wreck themselves, these days. And it just seems like that wasn't happening before. It seems like there's less options for men who are looking for just like a kind, nice, like brings joy to the room, modest woman, like if you're just looking for that and not looking for somebody that is very masculine, as they would say on these shows. And so basically, due to that scarcity, essentially these previously OnlyFans turned, trad thoughts. If anything, they're seeing this sort of like desire, this like demand, and so they're trying to fulfill it in the way that I mean, the only real way that they can, because they can't just go out and date all these men, every single one. So they see like, well, the way to capitalize on this market is to essentially just put myself out there as this product that men could sort of like, not get the full experience out of it, but sort of simulate to the best extent that that they possibly could through this sort of online like viewing that experience for themselves. Like it's kind of like, how like the girlfriend experience is something that is literally being sold to men. It's like women on like even OnlyFans will sell this kind of thing. Like they'll say like, yeah, you just pay me this money and like I'll start texting you as if I'm like, yours, and like, but they're doing it to many men at once. There's probably another guy managing the account, and so even if it gets sexual, there's probably just another guy on the end of the line managing for her if she's not doing it. And but pretty much, like, and I know even like they want to, like their AI services being sold where you can make your own like erotic images. You can have somebody to talk to you, like, like men are just in general, like overwhelmingly, on average, like they seem to be lonelier because it just than women. So there is more of a market when it comes to attracting the male attention in this regard. There is more of an opportunity to hop on the fact that like there is a significant portion of men that are lonely, and therefore they can just swoop in and say like, well, look, I'm here.
Yeah, and that's actually a good point too, where the OnlyFans thing, what makes it different, because like usually when I first heard of the OnlyFans thing, I was thinking, okay, well, I mean, if you really wanted to get off quickly, you could just go to like any porn site and watch whatever you wanted to watch for free. But that's part of why it's so lucrative, is because it is selling the illusion of having a girlfriend for people that just don't have it, or they are in a relationship, because apparently it's common. I know a lot of people that are, yeah, I'm in a relationship, but every now and then I'll like buy a girl's OnlyFans thing. I'm like, why? What are you doing?
What are they not getting from their girl? Like
that's what I'm
because like I understand, like, but like men like variety, right? But when it comes down to that, it's like, but you're not really looking for as a guy, when you're looking for variety, if you're looking for something different, it's not really, it at least shouldn't be, in the sense that you're looking for some sort of like other romantic attraction. Like for guys, usually mentally, at least, even if you're not acting upon it, the attraction would, like, generally, if you're happy with your woman, it's only really going to be like feeling that you want some sort of sexual variety, not actually like, intimate variety. And so the strange part is that it's like, with that, it's like, okay, so what exactly are you missing from your woman, that even if you have the sort of like, the sexual urges that come with wanting to see something else, like what exactly makes you want to have that level of a connection with somebody else? Like, even if it's just as much as an OnlyFans, where like the girl could text you if you text her, and like, if anything, you can just get that for free online. Like, and not even like the sites that already have it for free, you can just pirate it. Like, don't you know that you can do that if you really want to see that specific girl? I mean, seriously, it's not that hard. Kanye talked about doing it.
Wait, hold on. What?
Yeah. Kanye said he like looked them up on Reddit, like the leaks and stuff from there. He's like, yeah, man, I get all my OnlyFans from Reddit. He talked about that.
He has a girlfriend?
Well, this was like a little bit back. This was like probably like 2021 or something like that.
So in between ditching Kim and the new girl,
it was like it was like after Kim. I think they had already had the divorce, I'm pretty sure, or at least they were separated, not yet fully divorced, I think. And then Because they had to do the paperwork and stuff, I suppose. But they weren't like living together or anything, I believe. And then it was before Bianca. It was not at the time that he was already dating her. I think he might have been dating some girl, but it wasn't like a long-term thing because he's married again. So it was before that.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. I don't understand how the OnlyFans thing is lucrative either, because you could look up the model on Google and you'll probably find some leaks anyway. So why are you paying for that? But again, that goes back to, it's not about the sex, it's about the girlfriend thing.
Right. Like it's just so easy to find these things unless you're just stupid. Like ask that guy if he's just retarded. I mean, it could be. And then you could just say, man, look, you can get that for free elsewhere. Just look it up. And he's like, oh shit, man, thanks. I didn't even realize. Like the thing where like Drake's telling Lil Yachty on the music video. It's like, oh, like he's showing him something on the computer. He's like, oh, like why didn't I think of that? Yeah, exactly like that.
I didn't, I probably should have known because he did look familiar. I didn't know that was Lil Yachty.
Yeah, it is.
I was like,
Drake and Lil Yachty in a music video. Yeah, I remember I had another friend who was like, wait a minute, that's Drake.
Bruh.
Yeah, he was like, oh, I didn't even realize that was Drake. He just thought it was two black guys. That's what he said. He's like, because he starts telling me something. He's like he's texting me. He's like, to insert a GIF of two black guys like on the computer, and I'm like, wait, that's Drake and Lil Yachty. He's like, oh, I didn't even know. But he fully knows who they are.
Working on the weekend like usual.
Yeah. How does that one go? It's like, I
don't know. I don't listen.
One with Peter. The one with Peter Griffin. Drinking with the boys at like usual.
Yeah.
Like drinking on the weekends like usual.
I will say I don't like urban music, but that Cleveland beat switch was something.
Yeah. Yeah, he did that. Yeah. You look up the Family Guy parody, Peter in Cleveland rapping on what was that? It was the Drake and Future song. I forgot what it was even called. Yeah, I don't remember. Anyway, so what was it? Fuck, man, I lost my train of thought. What were we just saying before that?
Lois.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because like there's this clip of this guy who
she works.
Yeah, I know. There's this clip of this guy who he's like on this video. He's like, I don't know if it was like a stream he was doing, but like it wasn't with that it's like with this big male who goes by a woman, but like I forgot the influencer's name. But like, yeah, this individual has been on many shows, and like, even like Speed has done stuff with him, and Aiden Ross.
Gorlock the Destroyer.
Yeah, Gorlock the Destroyer, that meme. Like that is an actual like man. Anyway, I whatever. I don't know if that gets you demonetized or whatever, but look, it is a male to female, supposedly transgender. Okay. There you go. This is biological male, if that keeps me safe, maybe, that has used hormones to give the appearance of a woman. And so
I mean,
basically there was a streamer who was doing a show with him, and it's like, he was just saying, because it's like he reminded him of Peter Griffin, and he was like, Lourish. And so Greglandia and I, we were at a club one night, and there was this like fridge of a woman, and how there's always like one of those in the group, and I just looked at him, I was like, Lourish.
I like how you said fridge of a woman.
Yeah, well, I mean, look,
holy shit.
I mean, there's always one in the group, and they always want to stop you from hitting on the other women. And, as they say, you always got to get through the fridge to get the snacks.
Exactly.
You
see that one from like a while back?
You always got to slay the beast to get to the princess.
Oh, wait. What are you implying with that?
No, it's okay. You go on.
Nah, all right. It was like a video a while ago, where it was like some like prankster, maybe not a prankster, but like an influencer. I forgot exactly what he said to the girl. He's like, "Would you let me date your friend?" And it was, a skinny, attractive looking woman, and then it was a fridge, and the fridge was like, "No," and then she's like, "Wait, what do you mean no? Why wouldn't you let me date him?"
Yeah.
So it's true. They just won't let you get there.
Is it just jealousy? It probably is.
What? Well, jealousy spawned by insecurity.
Yeah. You know, I mean, like girls are very defensive of other like girls, you know, like if you try flirting with one girl, her friend may come up to you and start trying to like get you to stop. Like even if she's not fat, you know, and I mean, that may be insecurity still, but like it's not always true that it's just the fat one. Like, you know, maybe not necessarily the attractive friend of the group is doing that, and they're probably not, but I'm just saying, like, you know, they try to do that. Even if the
Yeah.
girl that you're hitting on, she's fine with it. It's like she's at least standing there listening to you, not saying anything. It's like the friend comes in, it's like, no, you know what, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, we got to go somewhere, like that kind of shit.
Not even that. Sometimes they're just like, what are you doing? Like, you know, well, I don't know. It depends on.
What
It
are you
depends on.
doing?
Yeah, it depends. It depends. I can think of one example where it's like, you know, one time we were trying to talk to this chick, and then the friend comes over. She's like, she's not, you know, she's not available or something. She's not single. It's like, why are you at the club? You know?
Wait, this happened to us?
Yeah, one time.
Was this the
There was a
time
friend of the
when?
group. This was like
Wait,
recent. This was last year, like late last year. It was Halloween.
it was Halloween.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Man, okay. Well,
Wait,
I
was
mean,
this
you were
the
right.
the
You were there with
day?
me.
Was this like when we went to that place after we got kicked out of that party?
No, this was the day before.
When we went to the other area?
No, but it was the same place that we went to that next night. Like we went to that same place twice.
Right.
So this was, well, actually, did we go to that same place twice?
We did, but it wasn't like one day after another. There was like a gap day.
Wait, so there were 3 nights.
No, so we
No,
we
there were
went
three
there.
nights. There were 3 nights, right?
No, because on shit, were there?
Weren't there?
We went on the Thursday, then we went on the Saturday. I know that much for sure.
This was, yeah, because it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
But Friday, or we didn't go there. We went somewhere else.
I think this was Thursday night.
Right, because it was just the three of us.
Yeah, yeah. It was Thursday night.
So wait, what did you say again?
I
Wait,
swear
no,
said
I
some
do
shit
remember
like,
you telling me this.
I swear I said some shit like, hello, ladies, or something. Ladies, how's it going? Or something.
And then she was like,
And then one friend comes over, like, as I'm coming in, and she's like, oh, she's not available. She's not single. Something like that.
was it a large one?
Honestly, I don't even think so.
Damn.
Yeah. But that girl was
That's
pretty attractive.
impressive.
Not the friend, the main one. That's probably it.
Mm.
They're trying to fend off guys.
But yeah, see, this would never happen if you're buying a Trad Thoughts OnlyFans.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, she'll never reject you as long as you're paying her.
And as long as you accept Christ.
Well, that part might be negotiable.
No, that probably is very negotiable.
It's like, oh, you know, you don't believe that? That's okay, you know, sweetie.
Wait, yo, you think they'll try to do the thing where he's trying to get you to buy more, but at the same time also trying to convert you?
Have you heard? Have you heard about our Lord and Savior?
Yeah, if you want to keep talking, you just add another $20. But have you heard of our Lord and Savior?
Yeah.
Because he would really want you to buy that ultimate subscription. I don't know how these things work, but
Yeah.
like a pass or whatever.
Yeah. I'm ready to bless thy neighbor with these deals.
What even is the logic they use for that, by the way? Do you know? For like the
What?
whole my life belongs to Christ and all that, but at the same time, I need to make a living by selling my body online. Like, how do they justify that?
Well, I don't know. If anything, you know, that's odd, you know, because aren't you supposed to like accept that you're like God's children, and, you know, I mean, I don't know. I guess Jesus already died for you, so whatever you do is what you do, you know?
See, the only I mean, that's how I guess it depends on what kind of Christian you are. Because I remember we were talking to this one guy, and I was bringing up like a critique about like what are the religions, and he's like, "Well, actually, if you're Protestant, it's faith alone," which, like I said, is very it's like really stupid. Because if that's the case, then you literally don't have to do anything that's like in the book besides just That's
Wait,
the
who
dude.
said this?
One of the guys in your server.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
So there's like literally no reason to take anything else out of the book for granted at all.
So
If
all you
that's
have
the
to do is say,
case.
I accept Jesus, and that's it.
Yeah. I think Family Guy had a skit about it where they were like talking about religions, and it was like a terrorist, like a Islamic terrorist, like right before he's about to get like killed by like the US government or something. He's like, I accept Jesus Christ in my heart as my Lord and Savior, and then he gets into heaven, like just before.
Yeah. Well, I remember, Xavier Renegade Angel, you know that show?
No.
Well, it's like this very it's like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
supposed to be
yeah.
this ugly 3D rendered show. Yeah, well, there's this one guy. He looks like the Pepsi Man. Honestly, he was like this like this metallic looking guy, and he like gets thrown into lava. And right before he goes, he literally says the line. He's like, "I forgive or I accept Jesus as my Lord and Savior." Oh yeah, got it. Like pretty much like he's happy that he got it before he died.
Shit,
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to do that for the meme.
I mean, it makes sense because you know, like the logic of like Pascal's wager, where it's like if you believe, you're doing so sort of like a gamble, because the right choice, they say, is to gamble on it. Though it's not the best logic, because I did have somebody tell me it was convincing, but honestly, it's for somebody that doesn't believe, it's not, because you already don't believe. So it's like, well, like why would I try and bet on something that I don't believe? It's like, just in case, that would assume I have to believe a lot of other things just in case, or really anything I hear that maybe I don't believe just in case. And so, I mean, no, to somebody that doesn't already believe, it's not convincing. But, honestly, if you want to implement that at any point, couldn't you just do it right at the end, to save yourself having to like figure out how to do it in life, like figure out how to like, actually live consistently with values that you don't necessarily even believe are true, and just save it for right at the end when you're about to die. And it's like, okay, fine, I'll just do it just in case.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Exactly. But you have to pick which one to surrender yourself to,
What do you mean?
Like you have to pick a religion at that point. I mean, because obviously a lot of people have different religions. So how do you know this is like the true one? You just got raised around a lot of people that believe it's true.
Go for the big three.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you can't get into the last
big three.
One. Yeah, never mind.
Three? Oh, I don't know about three.
Oh wait, yeah. Well, isn't the third big one like Hinduism or something, or Buddhism?
I don't. Is it?
Yeah, because Judaism's like tiny.
Okay, that's true. Yeah, it might be.
Christianity and Islam are like neck and neck, and then yeah, I think it's Buddhism, then Hinduism, and then depending on whether or not you count like the Chinese thing.
There's really no explanation for how people reincarnate, so I think that's a waste of a like last minute switch, like or what is it called, a conversion, like if you're trying to just be a Buddhist, because you're really just you have no logic behind it. So how do you even know like anything about it, to even be able to accept it like within your like system of beliefs? How could you accept this fully, not even knowing like any explanation? Like it's not even necessarily like there's a completely sound, airtight explanation, like everything's 100% logical to the point where you can never disprove it. But I'm just saying, like, there's not really even any method through which you can figure out like, oh, this is how this makes sense to me, because there's some sort of claim being made that I can justify to myself. There's not really a claim being made other than the fact it's like you reincarnate. That's it. There's no like, oh, well, here's how it happens. Here's when it started. Here's how it ends. Like, well, how it ends, I guess you could reach nirvana, but I'm just saying, like, here's how, like, humanity ends, for example, or here's how life ends. Like, there's no, like, there's not really a lot of explanations there as far as that. So at least with like a Christianity or an Islam, like there's a book about it, and well, I don't know how much Buddhism has on literature, but they actually, give a lot of stories, and like at least the people within the religions try to justify it logically to some extent, so you have that. It's easier to say, I would say it's easier to do a last minute conversion on those.
Yeah. They also seem to like they actually give like arguments and stuff like that. So
right. Exactly. I'm saying they're making their cases.
Yeah. They're like, hey, we want you to join. And the Buddhists and Hindus are just like, I mean, you can. I'm not going to explain it to you.
How do you think people even become Buddhist or Hindu without or like without being born into it?
I don't think you can. I think you're just born into it. But I mean, at some point, somebody would have to.
They're like calling themselves Buddhists.
Wait, who?
White girls.
Oh, that's because they're stupid. Like, I mean, come on, hold on. Think about this. These are the same people that look at star signs from fucking 2 millennia ago and say, "Oh yeah, that's why I threw this hot coffee in this worker's face for no reason whatsoever."
Yeah, that is true.
Oh my god, I just killed a mother and her child in a car accident because I was texting my boyfriend while driving. That's such a Gemini thing.
Yeah. You got a good point there. That is true.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Stereotypes exist for a reason. Prove me wrong. I don't think you can.
Well,
can you?
I have no counter argument.
See?
There is a reason. There is a reason. I mean,
not a good reason.
Not always a good reason.
Oh, you're talking about stereotypes. Yeah. No, I mean, usually a good reason.
Not always, but at times.
I mean, you know, what I don't get about like stereotypes too is a lot of them aren't even really necessarily bad. They're just bad because they're considered a stereotype. And the thing is too, no matter how you look at anything, the world revolves around stereotypes, like generalities. Like I know, like if I eat a steak, I know what steaks taste like, generally speaking. Now it might be different depending on the type of steak, or maybe it's a different cut, or maybe it's slightly different version of ribeye as opposed to the one I just had. But I have a general understanding of what a steak is. That's a generality. But I mean, nobody's saying, well, you don't know what steaks taste like after I say that. Like, but if it's like, well, you know, people from this part of the world tend to look like this, which is a fact. People are like, well, what do you mean people look like this? Not all of them. It's like, I mean, technically no, but like the overwhelming majority, yeah. Why is that a problem?
Well, if I see a pit bull and a golden retriever both running at me, you know, I'm going to know which one is more likely to start biting as soon as it comes face to face with me than the other. You know, well, I don't know. You know, maybe that's a little crazy. I don't know.
No, but like some of them just don't make any sense to be offensive. Like the whole like black people liking fried chicken. It's like, okay, yeah, fried chicken isn't exactly, you know, healthy for you, but it's not like it's like a horrible thing or anything. It's not like if I see someone eating fried chicken, I don't think less of them necessarily. It's just like, oh, okay.
Am I wrong?
Why is that a bad thing?
Am I wrong if I set my wallpaper to that black guy taking that huge bite of the cheeseburger?
Wait, which one?
You know, the one with the really wide open mouth, like eyes are bulging.
I don't.
You don't know the cheeseburger?
I don't think I
don't know if I can say the punchline to that one. I mean, I could really say anything. You could just get rid of it if it's that bad. But anyway, so like, okay, I guess I'll go for it, and then we can see how it goes over it. So basically, well, let me see if I can get the image on the screen first, because it'll actually help. Black guy. Maybe I just have to look up the term. Maybe I can find it that way.
Black guy cheeseburger?
No, there's another term for it. Let's see if I can find it on Instagram with the hashtags on here. Oh, yeah. Here. Okay, that was pretty easy. Oh, I can't open it unless I sign in. That's nice. Oh, no, I did it.
Yeah. Oh.
Hold on. I'm cheating the system.
Hacker man.
Okay. I will put it up. And if you need to, like, can you do a little censor bar if you need to? Like just a little black bar?
We'll figure it out.
Maybe like put an image over it. You know how to place an image, right? Like a PNG?
Yes.
Okay, well, you just place a black bar PNG as soon as I get it on here. Okay. Shit. Well, my presentation's slowing this down. I clicked the presentation button and it's freezing up a little bit for me.
How bad is it?
I can't even see anything going on. There's no action. Okay, wait. I got it. Okay.
No, I meant the image.
Oh, no, it's not bad.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah. So as you see different storage sizes, and it's just the black guy eating the cheeseburger is just a different type of storage unit, digitally. Anyway, that was it.
I was gonna say, is that what's his face? Badlands Chugs?
No, it's not Badlands.
Uh,
Badlands has a different facial structure than that. That couldn't be Badlands. Actually, wait a minute. Now that I look at it, I see what you mean.
right?
Like, I don't know. Maybe it really is just that compressed of an image that I'm not seeing it like completely. But like, I get what you mean. It does kind of look like him. Speaking of that, it's not racist, okay? But I will say I was at this event last year, like halfway through, and so I met these different folk, of course, as we were there. There was this one guy who I met that was he was running for office. He's like this like local, like he was like in his 20s, early 20s. But he was saying he wants to run for office, and he should introduce me to himself and his like campaign manager, I think, something like that.
Like president?
What? No, he's like 20.
President?
He's like early 20s. He's running for like a local house like race.
Oh, right. Because you got to be like 30, right?
Yeah, like 35. He was running for like a state house position, and so he's black, right? And so I finished meeting him. I go to play a video game, like because they had these like outdoor, like it was like an event. They had like these consoles. It's not outdoors. It was like in a corridor, like a convention center almost.
Just imagining you get finished meeting somebody running for office, you pull out your DS, start playing like Pokemon or something.
No, these are different times. It was hours later. They had like these video games on with TVs. It was like Donkey Kong I was playing. And so there was this guy, right? This man, I was hanging out with him. We were playing the game, finished playing. I go over to talk to another friend. And so this guy was also black, right? And I was like, yeah, I was hanging out with that guy that was running for office. And I was like, yeah, I even played a video game with him. And and then I looked over, I'm like, wait a minute, those are two guys. So the guy I'm talking to, he's like, he's just laughing. But then he's like, no, man, I get you. I'm from Canada. And up there, we don't see a lot of black people. So honestly, I could have made that same mistake.
I mean, listen, if you're not paying attention and, yeah, I'm not even gonna try to justify it. Like,
they were both of like the same body shape too. It's like they had the same physiognomy and everything. But it's not like they looked identical. You can tell them apart. It's just their like facial structure was similar. Like they were both like a little chubby, and like they had a similar haircut and everything. So I was just, it's easy. It's easy.
It's so easy. Yeah. When everybody's trying to please me.
It's baby. So easy.
But yeah, I don't understand why that's like. I mean, like if it's like, I could see how it's rude maybe, but like racist.
Right. Well, it's, yeah, you're just confusing two people for one another. And I mean, it just happens to be that is one of the characteristics that causes you to trip up. It's not as if you're like, yeah, exactly. I don't get that. It's like, if you think two people look alike, how is it like, oh, because I'm black, that whole thing where it's like, oh, you're saying I
yes,
this guy because I'm black. It's like, well,
yes,
you are both of like a similar like facial structure, perhaps. Likely, it's more likely to be that you guys share some sort of characteristics as far as like shapes of your like body parts, and like, I mean, specifically like in your face, like your nose, and like I know like that's going to get taken a certain way, but I'm just saying like it's true. Like these are attributes that like generally speaking, white people, Asian people, black people, like they have different like general like nose to like lip and like eye characteristics. Like generally across them, they have different ones unless they're mixed. So it's like if you are of that race, like purely, you look different, but like than the other ones, and you look similar to the other ones within your group, right? So it's like, I don't know, is it that crazy? Because like also, I think if you're not of that race specifically, it's easier to get tripped up. Generally, as far as what I've seen, because like, there are people that say like white people look alike, but they're not white, like they're like black people that say white people look alike. I don't know if that's more of a retaliation or if that's like a genuine confusion. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a genuine confusion.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing to take into account is just how like the ratio of people in a certain area. Like, I mean, even though like in the West, it's pretty mixed. I mean, white people are still the majority in like most places. So I mean, like it's like unless it's like New York or something like that. But even then, like you just stick out because you're not like the majority. I mean, it's not a bad thing necessarily. It's how it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, the same thing would happen like if like I don't know, a group of people move to like I don't know, Japan or something like that. You don't look Japanese. It is very likely that they will confuse you for each other. I mean, that's like kind of the thing too. Like the Japanese are getting pissed off at like, all these Western streamers going over there and being a nuisance and all that. So like part of the thing that they're doing is thinking about like just banning like all Westerners. I mean that like, it's not necessarily I mean it is kind of a stupid rule, but I mean at the same time it's like I get where they're coming from. Like if you're in a culture like that, especially if it's super collectivist like that, and you see like, oh well, it just so happens that all these people that are coming from like Europe and like America, they're all doing the same shit that we don't like. Um, like it's not like it's completely coming out of thin air. It's pattern recognition. And you know what they say about pattern recognition?
What do they say?
It's easier to memorize things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's all they say.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I don't know. I
the
guess.
other thing is like,
oh, what were you saying?
On.
Indians?
I did not say that. I don't know
I
where you
heard
got
Indians.
that from. I was gonna say like the like Asians are good at math thing. That's not a bad stereotype.
I mean, they
So
get
why is it
raised. They get raised by their parents very like strictly to learn cello and stuff.
Yeah, like Yo-Yo Ma.
Yo-Ma?
Yo-Yo Ma.
Yo-Yo Ma.
Or is it Yo Mama? No, it's not.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's this. Here's one on for size. Let me put you onto this. Yeah. So update on the whole situation with that one girl I was trying to get at on Instagram.
Oh yeah.
It turns out. So I texted her, right? I'll just say, I texted her. And she's like, how'd you get this Instagram? Right. Of course, because it's like, what the fuck? How did somebody find me? And so I explained it. I gave the story. And then she's like, wow, like LMAO, like whatever, like laughing emojis and stuff, whatever. And, she was just kind of reacting like, oh yeah, haha, like whatever. That's funny. And then I try to like, I try to see like where she's at on this though. I'm kind of like, is she interested or not? Like, was that genuine interest the other night or what? And so I'm just kind of trying to figure out a little bit, but then she's like, oh, well, like, I didn't mean to like lead you on or anything like, but like, I'm not available, she says, and she's like, but yeah, no, I really just thought your jacket was cool or something. And so it's like, I don't know. I looked at her profile. I looked at, her bio and all that. It doesn't look like it. I'm just saying. And my friend did say it sounded like she had genuine interest as well. He was like, yeah, it seemed like she was flirting with you. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Maybe she just likes flirting with guys at the workplace and never expects it to go anywhere after or something. I don't know.
It could be that in the time that you took to act on this, she got a boyfriend.
Imagine.
Like the next guy that walked in with a cool jacket, she complimented him and he just went for it like immediately.
It's like, can I have your number? Just out of the blue, like as soon as she said, not even reply to what she told him, like not even like have any sort of genuine conversation about the fucking jacket. It's just like, she's like, oh wow, like that jacket, you look like a magician. Hey yo, can I get your number?
Laser focus.
That's it. You say what?
Laser focused.
Yeah, exactly. So what you think that's what I should do next time? Like if I ever get a compliment on my jacket, just go like, yeah, can I have your number?
I mean, that's good? You don't have anything to lose.
That's true. Every time, just do it. See,
and in the worst case scenario, it's just really funny, which isn't really a bad thing.
I have a friend. He tells me, like, because he's been rejected quite a bit because he does a lot of like, well, he did before he got in a relationship, but he would do like a lot of pickup, like at the mall and all that.
Cold
like,
approaches.
Trying to speak game. Huh?
Cold approaches.
Yeah, he would do a lot of cold approach, and this guy's actually not even like that tall. He's like,
is he see who I'm thinking he is?
No, he's
bro.
You haven't met him.
Oh,
no.
Okay.
So he's a shorter guy though. He's actually shorter than bro.
Oh.
Yeah, and he's
Oh.
still spitting game out there, but he likes, like, well, he loves black women and stuff, and so he talks to them, he really gets at them like that. He's like a Mexican guy, so I guess that's his thing. But anyway, speaking of him, he tells me that he's like, yeah, sometimes they say no, like I'll be like, hey girl, you got Instagram? And she's like, nah, I'm not really on Instagram. And he'll be like, man, but what about like Facebook or something? She's like, nah. He's like, he keeps going for it. He's like, well, can I at least get your phone number? And she's like, well, no, I don't really even got a phone number, And then he's like, damn, girl, you don't even got a phone number? Are you on email? And she like, well, usually when he says that to a girl, he said he's gotten laughs. Like they're like, like they're just laughing at that. They like it. They like when even when the Riz fails, he still asks like a funny question, and he's very lighthearted about it. So it's good.
Now, what would happen if he just like takes it like the complete opposite way?
Damn, you got a physical address, girl?
Oh, that's not what I meant.
Oh, well, like like want or like saying like they're like he's lucky she didn't say yes or something.
No, like saying like getting rejected like over and over, like he keeps trying, but he's just like, oh, okay.
Like almost like borderline tears.
Yeah, he's like, oh, that's all right.
I mean, if you really feel like that, it's no big deal.
A lot of people don't have phones these days. They're pretty expensive.
Just like crying. Just like straight up, like just start breaking down as soon as she says no.
Make a scene in the mall.
Yeah. Well, I'll go like, no. Like get on like down on the ground and go like, no.
Full autist Riz.
That is autistic Riz. I think we have finally found it. We have found what the perfect autistic Riz is on this show.
Make a public scene.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Like put your shirt over your head, go, I'm Pickle Ree, and then just go at it.
I'm Pickle Rick.
I'm Pickle Ree.
Jesus. Yo, that reminds me. Were you the one that sent me that? The top 10 or top 5 pickup or Riz tactics that actually work?
Yes.
That video was hard to watch, bro.
This guy is, I mean, I don't know. He is so like, I mean, if anything, I can watch it because I'm just used to this level of cringe being partaken in, but like it's as if he knows how cringe he's being while also like, being the most cringe possible to where people are still cringing at it. Even though he's self-aware, but he doesn't tell you he's self-aware, that's what it's coming off like to me. Like it's like so many layers of irony. It's like it's unbelievable, honestly. This guy's name's like Maddox on Instagram, and so like he's given like skibbity toilet Riz. He's like, yeah. Well, damn girl, you don't even look like you look like TV girl from Skibbity Toilet was playing something ugly on her TV.
And I don't even know what that means.
Bro, I only know because I watched that. I didn't even know like Skibbity Toilet was like. I didn't even realize it was a series. I didn't even know.
Holy shit! What?
Yeah, it's like a YouTube series. Like they have like episodes of it.
What the fuck?
They're like characters in a world and stuff.
What?
Oh yeah, and then one of the pickups lines is like, "Girl, you make me want to go skibbity bop bop bop. Yes, yes."
Is that like a Scatman thing?
I think that might be something like like the Skibbity Toilet Men say, or something like some song they have or something.
It would be cooler if it was a Scatman thing.
You're thinking of like skibbity bop bop bop, like the one where like it's like I think there's like explosions usually at the end of it.
Skibbity bop bop up.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking of the Scatman.
What?
You don't know the Scatman?
I was like, what is that? That doesn't sound right.
You don't know?
Who is this?
Scatman John?
Who?
Scatman John.
I don't know who that is.
Oh.
I see.
It's a legend.
I don't know. I haven't watched much Scatman John.
Oh, he's a musician. He was part of that Eurodance explosion in the late '90s, and he did scat. He scatted all over the.
Jeez, man. Okay, how about I bring this home?
Bring it.
All right. So there's this frog, and he walks into a bank, right? And he goes, "Hello, hello, Miss." He reads the lady that is the teller. He reads her little name tag. It says Whack, and he says, "Hello, Miss Whack. I'm Kermit McJagger." And she says, "McJagger? You mean, like the McJagger?" And he's like, "Yes, he's my father. He's my father." And so she says, "Okay, what can I do for you, Kermit?" And he says, "Look, Miss Whack, I'd like to get a loan today." And she says, "Well, Kermit, what are you going to buy with this loan?" And he says, "I want to get a lily pad," of course, being a frog. And so she asks him, she says, "Kermit, we're going to need some sort of collateral. I don't know, if we can give you this loan without it." And he's like, "Well, I'm a bit strapped for cash." And so, well, he pulls out this little trinket. It's like a small elephant made of porcelain, and he hands it to her, and she's like, "What is this?" And he says, "Well, that's my collateral." And she's like, "Well, I don't know if I can accept this." And he's like, "Well, you should, you have to, it's what I'm giving you." And she says, "Well, Kermit, I'm gonna have to speak to my manager." And so she goes to her manager, and she says, well, he asks her, he says, what's going on? Her name's Patty. And she basically says, "Yes, there's this gentleman, Kermit McJagger, that wants to get a loan for a lily pad, and this is his collateral, but I don't know what it is." And so she hands it to him. He looks at it, and he says, "It's a knick-knack, Patty Whack. Give this frog a loan. His old man's a rolling stone."
You should kill yourself.
that was it.
All right. I'm going to bring it home, actually, with this one. Hold on. I was thinking about this earlier today. It might have been a shower thought, which this is how you know it's good. And it was really more of a recollection of anything. So there I was on the plane back to the US from Greece. And it was really funny too, because we all went as a group because it was like a class thing. But I always got like one class up from everybody else for some reason. So I was also always just like ahead of them in a nicer spot and everything. It was great. But anyway, I'm sitting next to this Greek man the whole flight. And so, it's like an 8-hour flight or whatever. And they come around to the food and all that. And every now and then I like ask him. He was a really nice guy too. Like I was like fiddling on my phone. And he's like, "Oh, do you want me to use turn my hotspot on if you want to do something?" I was like, "Oh shit, I don't really need it, but sure." And yeah, he was a nice guy. He was like telling me about the country and all that. He was telling me where he's from, about his family and all that. It was real nice. But then like halfway through, maybe not halfway through, like the last like 2 hours or so, the like flight. We stopped talking, winds down because you're not gonna talk to somebody for 8 hours. So I'm looking through the like TVs that are on the plane, and I'm like, I'll go watch something real quick. Well, what can I watch? And I see that they have HBO Max or whatever it was called at the time. And I'm like, oh, they have Sopranos, and I keep hearing great things about the Sopranos. So let me put on an episode or so of this. And you know how it works. Like the TVs are like on like the back of the seats or whatever, but like anybody can like look over and see what you're watching or whatever. Now, I start watching this, and like I don't know if you're familiar with the show, but like Tony Soprano, the main character, he owns a strip club, and it's like it's like laundering stuff basically. Because it's like a mob show or whatever. But he's at so like I didn't know this, but every now and then they'll open like scene changes whenever they go to the strip club of just the strippers dancing naked. Right. And I didn't know this at the time, but I was like watching this and I'm like, shit. And the guy next to me, I see him, he's like looking at it, and I'm like, shit, this is really awkward.
You said this,
but I don't know what to do. No, he's like looking like in my direction, like just
you said he
before
was
he was like, no, he's Greek.
Oh.
Yeah, Indian guy.
I don't know.
But
I would have said he's trying to see Bob.
No, he was like looking at like what I was watching, like casually just like looking around, you know. But then this scene comes up and I'm like, shit, I was not expecting this. Should I turn this off? Should I like change the show? And I'm like, well, if I turn it off and change it, it's gonna seem like I care too much about public opinion. That's kind of gay. And at the same time, I do want to watch this show. And I mean, the scene's already there, so like, damage is done.
You should have said you turned it off for religious reasons.
Nah. I'm pretty sure if I turned it off, the guy would have thought I was gay, like unironically.
You don't want to see tits that bad that you would turn off a show that even portrays them at all, like even a little bit.
It's in fucking public. It's weird.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, continue.
But anyway, yeah, by the way, every time they showed like these scenes, and it was every time they transitioned to the strip club scene where something happened, they would start it off like that. And like 95% of the girls they hired to play those parts had the most ridiculously fake looking chests ever. It was hilarious.
That's pretty accurate to the strip clubs.
Yeah, that's pretty. I don't know. It wasn't like a 90-10 ratio though. But yeah, it was like literally every woman they ever showed in that show like that. But anyway, yeah, that's kind of it. And I just decided, yeah, it's already there. I'm gonna finish watching it. Now we didn't talk the entire rest of the plane ride, so I don't know. It's weird.
He didn't even call your attention anymore.
Nope.
Maybe it was the side eye that you gave him while he was looking at your screen. Maybe that's what did it. Maybe if you just stared at your screen as normal, he wouldn't even have. He wouldn't have been weirded out. He would have talked to you after.
No, I didn't even like side eye him. I was just like, oh, I know that like he can see this type thing.
Like you could see it from the corner of your eye without having to move your eye.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, well then, what do you think it was? What do you think he didn't like?
You think he was gay? Didn't like? No.
And he didn't like seeing that?
He got offended.
Yeah, he got offended that you would even put that near him.
What is this? What are you doing?
Yeah, I didn't want to see those in my life.
You made me watch this. I mean, then I could just counter. It's like, hey, you didn't have to look in this direction.
Yeah, exactly. And if, you know, honestly, when he looked over, you should have turned to him and be like, what are you, gay or something?
like slowly turn over and just staring him dead in the eye. Yeah. What?
Like a confused look as you look over, like slowly, like head tilt. Like just utter.
Oh shit! I can't.
Yeah. Well, you could remove that. Did you remove it when I said the one for lesbian women? Okay.
You didn't. You should have watched it. I put a real funny censor sound.
Yeah. I need to catch up.
But yeah, it was just an awkward experience. But yeah, if anything, never watch an HBO show. Which, I mean, to be fair, I probably should have expected that knowing it's an HBO show. They're kind of known for that stuff. Never watch an HBO show on a plane unless you're in like a private seat or whatever, where there's like nobody next to you.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, what if you're next to an attractive woman?
Okay, so there's one of two things that could happen. One, which is the incredibly unlikely thing, she gets into it. She's like, "Oh, you like that?" And then it turns into like a porn scene, which isn't going to happen. Or two, she's like, she'll be disgusted like just because it's there.
Right. I would think the latter generally.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you're fucked.
Yeah. Well, not in the good way.
No, because then she could like draw attention to it, be like to tell the captain something or whatever. Which I mean, they're hosting it, so it's like
this nigga watching porn.
By the way, quick side tangent. I kind of hate how that's a thing.
What? Porn?
It's just, well,
I didn't even know what you're referring to.
That's not what I was going for, but I meant like how like any kind of drama or like any show or like TV thing or whatever feels a need to add like nudity to it, and it's like
artistic.
It never adds anything whatsoever, like ever.
What are you, gay or something?
See, this is no, but really, like, think about it. How many times have you seen something like that in a movie, like a regular movie, and it's like, oh, this scene was important and this added to it, and it wasn't totally just because they could.
Kind of on this topic, the movie we were talking about the other episode where
Yeah, I was thinking
it's
of that
really
movie.
weird. Yeah, I know. The thing is, I told one of my friends about your experience with it and how you went with your family, and I told him exactly the way you told me about it, like the plot and all that. And when I told him about the baby replacement thing, like Willem Dafoe is just like, so I did the sensible thing. I put the baby's brain in her body. He was like, what the fuck? Like, any sensible person would do that. But I told him, like, you walked out, and he's like, yeah, I would have too. And I'm like, his family was there and they kept watching. He's like, what the hell is wrong with them? He's like, I would have walked out too.
Yeah. I don't know why. I didn't show up for like the entire time too, so you would have thought they like got the hint.
Yeah, maybe you should have tapped one of them and was like, I'm leaving.
Just like, yeah, this was. I'll pay you back. It's over.
This was a mistake. Was there actually time to catch the other movie at the point at which you walked out?
No, it was like an hour in at least.
You said it was like a Godzilla thing?
It was something like that. And I just could not sit through that.
I would have just went halfway through that other movie. I don't usually like interrupting movies like that. Like, I don't like going into a new one, like when it's halfway done. But honestly, if I'm bored, why not?
Full disclaimer. I love those Japanese Godzilla movies. Those are great. But anytime an American makes them, they just fuck it up somehow.
I haven't watched King Kong versus Godzilla.
I did. It was so fucking bad.
Really?
Yeah, like, listen.
Who wins?
I don't even. I think it was King Kong because
it's like he's on the good guy's side,
basically.
Yeah. Question: how did they get King Kong to be on their side?
There's some like Asian girl that can talk to him or whatever.
Oh, so it's kind of like the original King Kong where he has like feelings for a woman, and it's like she can actually kind of communicate with him.
Yeah, but she's like a child, so I guess King Kong's a pedophile.
Whoa, that's not right.
An Asian child too.
Oh, King Kong's into anime.
Yeah, he is. But yeah, like, I already have a very low tolerance for those kind. I already said this on the other episode for like movies like that, where it's just meaningless action and stuff like that. But like the Japanese, this is the one thing I'll give them. They know how to make monster movies entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes some of them aren't that great, but a lot of the time it's pretty entertaining. Americans don't. They just suck. It's like I'm watching a Marvel movie, even though it has nothing to do with Marvel at all.
Yeah, see, that's the only thing that makes the Marvel movies decent. That it has to do with Marvel.
I don't even think. Have I told you about that? Like, back when those movies are first coming out, that and the Star Wars movies, I wasn't like big in the Star Wars or comic books like that, but I was like decently invested. I stopped. I don't care about any of that shit at all. I hate it now because of those movies. They screwed it up so much that I was like, yeah, I'm done. It was like the anime thing all over again.
I was okay with the Avengers until like the end of like the Infinity thing. Like when the Infinity War came out, I was still into it, but then I didn't like how they resolved it. I hated that Endgame. Like, I didn't hate.
Yeah, that was kind of stupid.
I really didn't want them to do a time travel thing. I even said it before the movie even came out. Like, I was like, I don't want them doing a time travel thing. And then they did a time travel thing. That was their solution. I was like, fuck you guys. I hate you. Like, look, why would you do that? That sucks. Yeah, they didn't have to destroy the stones. I mean, they could have, just said they were like, they got, I don't know, maybe it probably would have been a better story if the stones somehow got lost or they couldn't track them down or something. Like, then to time travel seriously, I don't know. I hated that.
Yeah, it was not like I mean, the story on its own has issues, but just everything about those movies, they're so cookie cutter. It's like, if I were to point to like the death of like artistic anything, I would point to those movies because they're like the same shit with like different characters for the same length for like ever. And they're gonna keep going too, even though nobody cares about them anymore.
Yeah.
Like
so how did this Greek guy bring us home?
I just had the one up you. That's kind of been the theme of the episode.
Okay. Well, yeah, because I you know, you guys didn't see this, but I made my name a United States of America, and then Greg decided he'll do Greglandia, and then he also decided to do the profile picture reveal that I usually do into the show, and so yeah, you know, it's seems like not very, it's very
I'm not gonna
derivative
lie.
today.
I'm not gonna lie. I forgot to like load the profile picture in, so that's why it took so long.
Have you watched Invincible? I haven't.
Yeah, I watched the first season and then the second season, and I was disappointed by the second season.
I thought the second season still isn't over, or is it the third season that's coming out? And they're, because all I know is there's a new season that's supposed to either come out or it came out, and they're only going to put out half of it and then take a break.
Yeah, that's what they did. That's why I didn't like it. It was 4 episodes.
There's supposed to be another 4. So the second season's not over.
My free trial ran out, so I'm not watching it now. That's how it is.
Okay. Well, so, you know, I saw a guy make the take that like they're just lazy as hell. It took them like what, 3 years to come up with the second season, and then only half of it comes out.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Basically, they're waiting on the other half. So, you know, the thing is, he was saying like, you know, no wonder fucking AI is gonna like do way better than you guys because you guys are just lazy. Like, you guys aren't doing anything. So, I mean, he's actually very pro AI, and I agree. I mean, like, if AI can make a quicker, better version of it, why wouldn't I just watch that? Why do I care that some guy I don't know made it?
It would be a better version if it didn't exist.
But what's wrong with the show? Like, was the first season good?
So here's the thing. You already know my standards on like art and stuff like that. I think Invincible is nihilistic for the sake of being nihilistic. It's kind of like The Boys, where it's like taking a, you know, granted, I don't really like the premise to begin with. The whole superhero thing's been absolutely raped into the ground these past few years. But they're taking it and they're like, oh, what if we made it edgy and gory and had sex and stuff like that? It's like the whole point of it being that way is so that it's not like that. It has like a sense of like innocence about it. And don't get me wrong, I like the old school Batman cartoons where it's a bit more serious, but it's still not like, you know, explicit for the sake of being explicit. It just seems like an edgelord made it.
Yeah, I haven't watched much of The Boys. I've watched a few episodes. Now, let me just say that one episode. How much have you watched of it?
I think I got up to the 3rd season.
Dude, I've only watched a few episodes of the first season. But the thing is, I think that one of the episodes I ended up on was like, you remember that one where like Popclaw is like riding that guy's face?
You're gonna have to remind me who that is.
There is a woman who
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Riding a man's face.
Right.
And his head bursts open.
Yeah.
As she's doing it. That was disgusting. I hated watching that. That was terrible. That made me sick.
Like, actually?
It kind of, yeah. It did.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. That I did not like.
I thought I had like a soft spot for gore.
It's not even, I don't even know, because it's like, it's not even gore itself. It's just watching a head get crushed. I think is the worst thing. I can't with that. Like literal, just, you know, I mean, like, you know, if I'm watching somebody get an arm torn off or a leg torn off, that's different. But watching a head, like a brain get crushed, that is just something. That's another level.
I can see where you're coming from with it, yeah.
It's not real, but, you know, still just seeing that portrayed. And it's not even like cartoonish. It's like real. Like it looks as real as they can make it.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm getting on with the whole like sex thing too. Like, to an extent, I get the whole appeal with like, you know, superheroes. You got to show some of the fighting. That's part of the appeal. But I mean, why does it have to just be gore? It seems like one of those things, again, with the sex thing, where it's just like, we can show it, so we're going to show it, even though it doesn't really add anything to the story at all.
If only they would just make it somewhat more subtle. Like they could even do silhouettes and I'd be better off with that.
Yeah, that's usually how they did it. And this is my argument for it too. Like if you watch any movie from like before the 60s or anything like that, you know, there's like horror movies from that time. There's like drama movies. There's like war movies where horrible things happen, but it's like implied, like they'll show a silhouette, or it's like it'll happen off screen and you'll hear about it, or you won't even see it. It'll start off as a silhouette and then it'll just black out and you'll hear like music that signifies something happened, and you get the point. It doesn't kill the movie that you don't see somebody get their head cut off or something like that, or it doesn't kill the movie that you don't see the actress's tits or whatever. You get it. They're in love. There's really no reason to do that whatsoever, unless, of
So,
course, you're trying to degrade the actors, which I
mhm.
think is part of it.
What is with this whole like well, I guess you kind of mentioned it there with the like degrading the actors, but why is there such a push for like these like this intensity of like, you know, just I mean, not only gore, not like, I mean, sex is included in that, but like whatever you would categorize this as, like, why is there like vulgarity? You know, why is there such a push for that?
I think part of it is just, natural progression of how things have been for a while. Before it was like, I mean, to be fair, beforehand, like really beforehand, it was a bit much where it's like you couldn't talk or show anything in any kind of media.
Mm-hmm.
Where I don't think it was necessarily banned in the US, just nobody thought to do it. And it was like kind of like, why would you do this type thing? Which does not exist anymore, except for like pedophilia. That's like the one thing. And even then, the movie that I was talking about in the other episode seems like that's
Yeah.
not really a thing anymore because I don't think anybody else brought this up in the reviews that I quickly scrolled through. Um, it wasn't even in like the description too. You would think that's a crucial part. I mean, I guess yeah, that's part of the twist, but it's like I got like fooled into watching something I didn't want to watch, basically.
Yeah.
But anyway, uh, I think it's like a form of like nihilism to an extent. I'm not against, showing gore in films to an
Mm-hmm.
extent, but sometimes it's just like way too much. And you can tell like there's a difference between like for example, like if you're watching a horror movie, which I don't really think there's really a purpose in horror movies existing in
Yeah.
a real rational society anyway.
You are just making your stress go up by watching that for no reason. Why do you like that?
Exactly.
Why do you like that? That doesn't seem right that people want to raise their stress levels purposefully for no other purpose than just to do it. Like you're not getting any other benefit from it.
Right. And here's the thing, even if it doesn't raise your stress levels, like you're used to it, that within itself is something where it's like, okay, then why are you watching it? What the fuck's
Mm-hmm.
wrong with you? But anyway, uh, to use that as an example, because that's like the only one I can think of off the top of my head, is the original Halloween film, like the very first like Michael Myers film. It was because they didn't have a really big budget mainly, but the film is about a guy that goes around killing people with a really low body count, by the way, for a slasher film. It's only like 5 people die. Uh, Sorry for spoiling a 50-year-old, 40-year-old movie. But anyway, they don't use a lot of blood in the actual production. Like there's very little at all.
Mm-hmm.
And it works still. It's still a great film for what it is. I mean, I don't watch it anymore because I'm not really into horror movies. But like at the time, I was
Sure.
like, oh, this is a good film. But nowadays, like any horror film, it's like if they're not doing the retarded exorcist bullshit that's been again done to death, pun not
but
intended. Yeah. I thought you had that sound. There it is. Um, unless they're doing that, it's usually trying to like up the ante by scaring the audience or shocking the audience of gore.
yeah.
So it's like a shock thing, but the shock thing inherently comes from like a nihilist point of view.
Yeah, I get that. I don't know. You think it's going to circle back around to the point where, you know, people become tame again?
Not for a bit.
But eventually.
Eventually, it would have to, but it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah, probably. Well, that's unfortunate. What a note to leave it off on, honestly.
We'll leave it off on a good note. I'm trying to think of something good that happened. Uh, Hold on. Oh, I started limiting the amount of cream I've been drinking.
Is that because of the fat?
No, because of the carrageenan, but I guess also because of the fat, kind of. And it works. Like the thing is, the cream adds a lot more flavor because it's fat. So when I mix in the maple syrup with just milk, I don't taste it as much, obviously. But it's not like it's not there. So I kind of got used to it.
That's good. Yeah, I drink a lot of milk. Before this, I drank like just milk and maple syrup and some orange juice, and I had some beef jerky that I made. I actually am making my own beef jerky now.
Beef.
Yeah, in a food dehydrator. I marinate it in coconut aminos, some white vinegar, water, and honey and salt.
Make enough so that next time we meet, I can try it and I can judge you on your cooking skills.
I just stick it in the dehydrator on the temperature. It's good.
You have a dehydrator?
Yeah. I bought one because it's way better than the oven, man. Oven uses too much energy and like it just takes too long. This takes 6 hours for beef jerky. instead of the oven, where I've tried it before and it takes like a day.
So wait, what kind of pieces of meat are you using?
Right now it's like round. It's like eye round or something. I think I'm using
Eye
top round
round?
though. No, it's like eye of round, or I think I'm using like top round. Yeah.
Is that muscle meat still, or
It's like round steak, yeah.
okay?
You can put liver in there. I haven't tried it yet, but you could. I had lamb liver that I tried and ate. That was good. I finally like liver because of the way I'm doing it. I'm searing it on each side for like 30 seconds and then that's it. And then some maple syrup on top and it's great.
No
that
salt?
Way. Yeah, a little bit of salt as well.
Are you eating like an entree size amount, or like little pieces?
No, very small. It's really like a couple ounces.
Where are you getting liver?
Well, this one I went to an Arab store. Yeah.
Shit, I might have started.
They sell a lot of lamb liver there. Lamb liver, heart, kidneys. I ate all of them.
Shit.
Heart is good. I like heart. Heart tastes.
I've heard
heart
meat. Yeah, that's what I've heard about heart. That's what I was thinking.
It is meat, of course, but it tastes the closest to your like regular steak, which is great.
My thing is, I'm still a little bit like, kind of not on the fence about the whole, slicing open a heart and searing it. I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't even.
It's not like it's a human heart, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like an ethical thing. I mean, it's just like
just the view of it.
Yeah,
but it's not bloody. Like they drain all the blood. The only liquid you see is like a protein. It's what was it called? It was myoglobin. Yeah, myoglobin.
Myoglobin.
Anyway, all right, that's our message to you. Eat some heart from a lamb.
There's like a ton of Arab stores around me too, and I've just not been taking advantage of that.
Trust the Arab lamb, eat their heart, gain their power. That is our message for you folks.
That sounds brutal as fuck. It's like death metal lyrics.
Have a great night, and don't go to the movies anymore because you'll probably see some things you will never unsee.